Okay, and please don't mind me turning on and off the thing that works better when I put it on YouTube if I have shorter clips.
Okay.
Well, you'll just have to come up with thoughts then. Let's start with a prayer. I have no idea whose turn is it. Does anyone want to say it particularly?
You're going to hear from me later. So.
Okay, I can't.
Okay.
I don't know what I pray for.
That'd be great.
Our Heavenly Father, we're grateful to meet together this evening. We are grateful for the freedom that we have to meet and discuss things that are so dear to our hearts and crucial to our happiness. We ask you to bless us with thy Spirit, that we will be given insight and understanding as we discuss together. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So first of all, let's go over the class goals that I set up from way back at when. I have them on this document on the computer. I didn't write them up on the whiteboard today, so I have to find them. Okay, so we are finding truth and principles, becoming better by learning and applying truth, learn about government and economy, focusing on the founders, enhance learning by discussion and sharing opportunity to learn with others, and enable members to know what to do to influence for the good of liberty. Those are our goals to keep in mind as we go. So today, as we're getting started, I know why I was thinking this. One of the reading assignments for this time was an article by Benjamin Franklin called The Way to Wealth. And did you end up reading that? No. Oh! He uses many of his Poor Richard's quotes and puts them in as if he's having a pretend conversation and it's someone else quoting Poor Richard over and over. But he uses them in a way that's a little bit story and a little bit, a little poetry and a little prose mixed together to teach some principles about abundance. And so that was one of the things that we can discuss. One of the, in my notes, I looked back at my notes because it's been a couple weeks since I read it. And the main thing that I got out of it seemed to me like the main thing he was saying was the way to have and enjoy abundance is to work. So he talks, talks against being idle and says leisure is not the same as idleness. And so you should work and have leisure and not be idle. And so that's the way to wealth that he's talking about, is through work. And so it got me thinking a little bit off the subject, but related to that, I wanted to just start out by discussing abundance because it's something that I've been thinking about over a period of time. And so I just have a few questions that we could just discuss about it. So first of all, where can we see abundance in our lives? What abundance
before you get to that question, while you were talking about Benjamin Franklin, there's so many references in the Book of Mormon to this principle that one of the things that's mentioned when the people are on track and living righteously is that they work. They work with their hands, and their leaders work, and that ties in with their principle that we read today about that. When you have government officials that look at it as a way to wealth, as a job, as they're wanting the luxuries and the compensation, you're in trouble. But when you have leaders that are self-supporting, I was just reading Cora Horse arguments and comparing them with humanists? No, what?
Humanists, yeah.
The manifesto.
Yeah.
It's of course a lot of the same non-principles, the no articles of faith kind of stuff. And that's the kind of thing the antichrists are looking for people to honor them and support them.
Nehor was a good example of that, as well as of course King Noah.
And comparing that to George Washington's farewell address and the reasons that he served was a sacrifice. It's just a night and day contrast. It's really service and sacrifice. Climbing.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just kind of tied in the idea of abundance with our core book
Yeah,
What do they call it in this class? Not close.
Central Classic.
Central Classic, thank you.
Core book is another name that they
Yeah.
sometimes say
Yeah.
too, yeah.
That
That works.
it's interesting about work and somehow it gives you a feeling like it's it's not bad to do honest work for the money,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Create.
I mean,
jobs.
sometimes that's exactly the only reason you do the honest
Yeah.
work, because,
It's the compensation, it's
you
like
want
you go
money.
out and you farm a field, you walk behind a horse because you gotta have food,
yeah.
and you gotta eat and support a family and raise children.
Okay, so.
So where can we see abundance in our lives is my first question. I kind of want to dig into abundance a little deeper than just thinking, is it just money or not money? You know, do we have money or do we not?
Yeah, I feel so cheated, we just don't have anything here, you know?
Miss
You know, I
Valley.
never starved in my whole life, you know,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know, just as far as, just to put it one area, just, we have abundance in food,
Mm-hmm.
just to put it simply. We just have all we could ever imagine to want.
We have abundance in books.
Yeah.
At their house and ours for sure, at least.
You have
Yeah, just our
at our
fingertips.
disposal.
And if we just had the
Well, with
library,
libraries
it's
and
different
that-
than Benjamin Franklin's library that he started, you know,
Yeah.
our Orem library is a paradise compared to, you know, so that's, you know, abundance
Yeah.
there too. And I think we have abundance in our ability to travel freely
Oh,
too.
yeah.
We're not confined as they have been in days past. I think maybe to our detriment, we're, you know, too free to travel, but,
Probably all of these can be
yeah.
for good or bad,
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
that we have an
We
abundance
have an
of.
abundance of opportunity.
mhm.
I mean, you can go out and do anything and be anything that you decide you want to be. There's getting to be more and more limitations all the time. It's getting harder and harder. But of course, what's called the American dream was all about an abundance of opportunity.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking along with that despite the fact that our freedoms are being eroded, I still feel like there are an abundance of freedoms that we enjoy.
yeah.
I mean, just in our daily choices,
Mhm.
we get to just choose a lot about our lives
Yeah.
each day.
Yeah.
And
So,
we're still living in a mindset of abundance, even though people aren't aware of what's happening, so they're still thinking in that abundant mindset. I think of just an example of, it was Elder Busha talked about the difference between the mindset of people here in America and over in Germany. Just the way they look things in. He told, and I don't know if you remember the story he told about being on a bus in New York and how this bus driver went out of his way to take this lady to close to, an older lady to close where she needed to be, and went, 2 or 3 or 4 blocks out of the way of his route to help her. And he says that would never ever happen in Germany. That people would never even imagine thinking that way about helping somebody else. And here it was natural. And he says, and he's seen that all over America, that
come
different
in.
mindset.
Almost.
So is the, how does that
Come in.
relate to abundance, the feeling of?
There's an abundance of
All fit.
compassion,
Compassion.
of thoughtfulness for others.
And stop
And
here.
there really is in the United States, there's an abundance of willingness to go out of your way for others.